Hey everyone, so I just wanted to quickly discuss important macro topic here. I'm calling it gold efficient maximum production, which isn't really a name, but it's the properties of it. So pretty much this is the number, this is like where you've queued up a unit. You've bought a swordback, a miner, a giant. It should look like a one, pretty much all the time. If you're trying to make it consistently, it should look like a one. So there are times you try and make it consistently. One is the miners in the avalanche strategies. You just want to pump out miners. There's no greater objective in the early game. You're trying to set up your economy, and army is not going to help you. You don't. You the castle archer will defend, and yeah, you won't push for center. So let me show you. Let me switch to this. All right, let me show you in the actual game what I'm talking. See, it's a one, right? And now it's a two, but it was about to complete. And now it's back at a one. And I'm just doing the avalanche because just easy to focus on. And now I do it at two. That's fine. But the problem is going to be later on, and I'll explain further. But there's a floating issue when you're queuing up too many of the units. Right now, it's okay. This is a very tight belt order anyways. So this is my 10th miner. I'm now going to wait for hustle. Then grab all these guys, put them immediately on gold. And here, this is where people go wrong. Right here. I bought my 11th miner. It's halfway done. I have 150 gold. And there will be people who buy a sword rapier. Don't do it. You don't need army yet. And I think people will think, I don't know what people think, but the goal, you just need miners. Okay. And let's see if this is a good example. Okay. This is a very tight example, but it does illustrate the point. See, right now I have 75 gold. If I had bought that sword raft, I would have 100 gold and I wouldn't have a miner in production left because one just completed and this one barely started. This is the miner. I used the gold. Some people would have bought a sword wrap instead. But I know that I'm not going to have enough gold to buy a sword wrap and then still keep the miner production consistent. Now I'm about to get 75 gold anyways, so it's not like the most relevant point. So there it goes. But like I said, there's no higher priority really. Now at this point, I think the sword is okay. Note that is different because I have like two, three more miners now, and this miner barely started producing. So I can very likely assume that I will, if I spend 125 on, and I have 25 left after deducting from here, I can have pretty high probability that I will have enough gold by the time this miner completes to buy another one. So I'll buy a sword. And yeah, sure enough, I have. Now here's another way people can go wrong with floating. So it's the other side of the coin. On one hand, you are spending your money too thin. So you might have an objective of economy, of army, but you're just kind of like diluting and going both without a goal. This is the opposite. See, I have 300 gold. I think what some people might do is they might queue up three miners. I don't know if it's too dark to see, but I have 3 miners queued up now. And here is the big problem with queuing up. I would just say never queue up. You should literally never see a 3 here because we need to bring back the paint. Okay. The problem with 3 is um, it's like a math thing, okay? Let's say this bar is how much gold you make a minute. And let's say this bar, if let's say you only buy miners, okay, it's going to be a smaller bar actually. This is the miners. Like if you're constantly buying miners, this is how much it costs per minute. You can see that there's a difference here. There's like this difference. This is excess. So if you just keep piling on more miners, you go to that 3, you go to 5, you go to 7 miners in the queue, it's just not enough. Like it will never spend the amount of gold you're making if your income is high. If you have 14 miner economy, you cannot spend all the gold from it by just making money. Now, people don't do this with miners, but the same thing will apply. Here's the bar for archers. It's pretty similar because archers are kind of cheap and they take twice the amount of time as miners. So actually, if anything, it's probably the same bar and it's pretty dry. So they take the same amount of gold per minute. And I will definitely see people who have like 3 archers queued up. They will never be able, like by the time this 3 archers goes down to 1 archer left in the queue, they will have so much more money. So they don't, this 600 gold that's been put into the 3, or 900 gold, but 100, like 300 of it is fine. It's making an archer. But the extra 600 that's just sitting there in the stack, that actually goes to like a spear, a merrick. Maybe you don't even need it. So I'll see some people, now I'm just going on that, but I'll see some people, they have like 900 gold and 700 mob. And they have 2 spears, like they were already floating, they have like 2 spears in production, 2 archers in production, merrick in production, and like double. They have, okay, this is an archer, we look the bow, and merrick. They have like literally everything in production. What they should do here, if they have a big economy, they should just add on a mate. It don't even matter if they have the upgrade. You just have to spend the money because by the time this merrick is done, this spear is done, this archer is done, you will have a lot more money. You'll have 2,000 and like whatever, well, 1,200 month. So like, yeah, you gotta spend the money. Like here, you want to flatten it out. So like again, going back to what the video started on, at lower economies, let me draw another chart. I'm running out of space here. At lower economy, your goal per minute is a lot closer to, let's say, like how much is needed. This is like the cost per minute of constantly producing line. In this case, you have no excess. If you try to make a sword, This is like the sword being deducted from the gold income. It's cutting into your miner production also. You won't have enough money. So in this situation, you just want to focus on one. But you'll notice though in this situation, you'll never end up with a three anyways on mine because you're constantly spending. So it should just look like a one or look like a two that's like about to be completed. But I don't know how to. So yeah, this applies to like all RTS files. I think that's all. If you have comments or questions, let me know. This wasn't like super thorough explanation, but hopefully it helps illustrate these concepts about floating, and also not producing when your objective is to just produce that thing. Um, if it wasn't clear, should let me elaborate. You may want to make miners only in certain early game scenarios, archers only, not only, but like consistent archer production in OVC. Sometimes you want like consistent ninja production. So just whenever you want consistent production of something, it's good to think about these things and use your money effectively. Okay, thanks for watching. This turned out a lot longer than expected.